So very good morning to all present here. And today we are going to discuss about IC555 timer. So what is meant by timer? Timer is nothing but it is a time machine. So what is the use of time machine? It is used to generate the time generation. And if you look at the IC555 timer, and it is coming under the category of a linear integrated circuit. So what is meant by linear? It is an exponential. With respect to the input signal, the output signal has to be varied. That is considered linear. So what is meant by integrated? So integrated means we are going to combine all devices and put together with a single die, which is called as an integrated. Circuits, you know very well. What is meant by circuit? Circuit is nothing but it is the combination of active and passive devices. And if you look at the IC555 timer, basically IC555 timer is one of the most popular and versatile integrated circuit which is ever been produced by the research engineers. And Signetics is the corporation which is first introduced the device as a NE555 timer or SC555 timer in earlier 1970s. And if you look at the before 1970s, they can use such a vacuum tube. So when the IC555 timer is introduced, so many circuit has been make it as a very compactable thing and it will be integrated with a single module which is called an IC555 timer. And it is the combination of both digital and analog circuits. So for an example, what is meant by digital, what is meant by analog circuit? Analog circuit which is having the limitation of 0 to 50 volt or 0 to 18 volt. And if you go with the digital circuit which has a limitation of 0 to 5 volt, so it is the combination of both digital and analog circuit. And it is known as a time machine, as I discussed earlier, it is known as a time machine because it is going to perform a time generation. And what is the application of IC555 timer? And if you look at the application of IC555 timer, which is the ramp, square wave generator, frequency divider, voltage control oscillator, and pulse generator, and it can be used as a flash, LED flashes. And these are the list of applications which is included in the IC555 timer applications. And this is a pin-out diagram of IC555. So basically, if you look at the curved portion, this is called, it should be kept as the left side. And pin number 1, pin number 2, pin number 3, pin number 4. Again, we have to go to pin number 5, pin number 6, pin number 7, and pin number 8. So this notch is an indication. So where we have to place the IC555 timer in the breadboard. And if you look at the each and every name of the pins, the first pin is called as a ground. As you know very well, the ground has been connected with always the ground terminal. And second pin is called as a trigger. So this particular trigger pin, which is especially used in monostable multivibrator applications alone. And the pin number 3 is called as an output. So we are going to connect it with the load. For always, this IC555 timer, which gives 20 milliamps of current, which is driven in the output terminal 3. And the fourth pin is called as a reset. It is always connected with the plus VCC. And the fifth pin is nothing but it is a control voltage. So what is the application of this control voltage? When the 555 can be modified as a voltage control oscillator, we have to connect the power supply with the IC pin number 5, and it should be varied. So according to the variation of the external control voltage, the output has been varied. So this is the use of IC. The pin number 5th of IC555 timer, and the 6th pin is called as a threshold, and the 7th pin is called as a discharge, and finally 8th pin is mostly connected with the plus VCC. So totally this is a dual inline package which has 8 pins together. So left hand side we have a 4 pin and right hand side we have a 4 pin. So totally it is a dual inline package. And if you look at the IC555 timer, which contains, if you are extracted the IC555 timer, which contains the 25 transistors along with the 2 diodes and 16 resistors. So these all devices, active and passive devices, are integrated within the single package which is called as an IC555 timer. The naming reason for IC555 is internally it has been connected with the 3 5K resistors in series manner, so that it will be called as an IC555 timer. So the maximum operating voltage is 16 volt up to 18 volt. You can able to vary the input voltage. The maximum output current which is driven in the output terminal is about 200 milliamps. And what is the this is the generic block diagram of IC555 timer, which can do input and it can be processed with both analog and digital circuit, and finally we are going to get the output terminal over here. So this is the generic block diagram of an IC555 timer. And if you look at the IC555 timer, so this is an internal extracted circuit of IC555 timer, but it is combined together, which will be coming out with a single package is called IC555 timer. And if you look at the each and every pin, just now we have discussed about each and every pin of IC555 timer. The first pin is called as a ground, which is always connected with the low level of 0 voltage, and the second pin is called as a trigger. The output rises in the timing interval when the output will be falls below 1 VCC divided by 3, and the output terminal is given the output voltage are recorded approximately about 1.7 voltage to plus or minus VCC or ground. Reset is a terminal which is always connected with the VCC terminal, and this is a control voltage. This is a control voltage. This is a threshold, and we can have a discharge, and we have a plus VCC and plus V and plus VCC. And if you look at the internal diagram of an IC555 timer, which has the 3 5K resistor, as I told earlier for you people, the 3 5K resistors can be connected in series manner. So this will be called as an IC555 timer. And we have a comparator. What is meant by comparator? Comparator is an analog device which compares the both values. We have a 2 input terminal, 1 output terminal. So this is upper comparator and this is lower comparator. You have to fix it to your mind. Both the comparator cannot on state and both the comparator cannot in off state. Either the upper comparator is on, the lower comparator will be go 0. Either lower comparator is on, the upper comparator will go first 0. So this output has been connected with the simple flip flop. It's a digital circuit. What is meant by flip flop? A flip flop is a digital storage register. It is the combination of several gates. What is meant by R? R is nothing but a reset. What is meant by S? It is called as a set. So which has a 2 state. We have a 0, 0 means, I already told you, there is no upper comparator on both, there is no upper comparator will be on in the same state condition. So 0, 0 is not permissible, 1, 1 is not permissible, only the 2 conditions which has been taken here. So there is a 1, 0 and 0, 1. If the reset will be 0, if the reset will be 1 and if the set will be 0, the reset will be 1, the Q output will be 0 and Q bar output will be 1. If you go with the set will be 1, the reset will be 0, the output of the Q will be 1 and the Q bar will be 0. So according to the 1, 0 and 0, 1 condition, the output of the flip-flop which set and reset, that is make it on and off. So whenever we have output, make it as an on and off, so definitely there will be a timing state which will be produced, which is called the simple square wave. So here we have a upper comparator. The upper comparator which has been connected with the threshold 2 VCC divided by 3. The lower comparator, the voltage level is VCC divided by 3. So the control flip-flop which is having 2 output, either Q and Q bar. Unfortunately here we have one NOT gate is there, but unfortunately we never put it here. So Q and Q bar, and this is called as a transistor T1, which is the NPN configuration, and this is called as a PNP transistor, which is reset. So this PNP transistor which has been connected with the reset, and this NPN transistor which has been connected with the discharge. So this is a simple power output which is connected with the amplifier. So finally the output has been amplified by the power output, and we are going to get the on and off state of IC555 timer in form of square wave. When the upper comparator is on, the output state will be high. When the lower comparator is on, the output state will be 0. Again, it is continuously switching between the upper comparator and the lower comparator. So output can be measured as high and low. And if you want to change the timing, if you want to change the on and the off time of output cycle, you have to connect the external resistor. You have to connect the external to resistor and one capacitor with respect to this particular configuration. So that circuit is called as unstable. So if you look at the application of IC555 timer, there is a 3 application which is majorly used. Yeah, first application is nothing but a mono stable. What does mean by mono? A mono is nothing but an efficient shingle. Mono stable, it will be stable in one condition. So this is called as a mono stable multi-vibrator. Mono means single stable. So we can call it as a one-shot multi-vibrator. And the second application of IC 555 timer is unstable. So unstable means there is no stable state. So we have on time is equal, off time is equal. So continuously it can produce the square wave. So that which is called as an unstable multi-vibrator or a free running multi-vibrator. And third state is called as a bistable multi-vibrator. So mostly we can use the monostable and unstable. Rarely or occasionally we can use the bistable multi-vibrator for such applications. And if you look at the operation, the voltage has been divided with the 3 equal resistors as I told you earlier. So internally we have a 3 5K resistor which is connected with the series manner. So the voltage divided as a 3 equal 5K resistor, it is divides the input voltage into the 3 equal parts. The 2 comparators of the op amp that compare the voltage in their inputs. Based on the high input, it will be given the output voltage. So the 2 comparators of the op amps that compare the voltage at the input and saturates depending upon which is greater. That is what the very important thing. So with respect to which is the greater saturation of the comparator, according to the particular instantaneous time, the comparator will be on and off, so that we can have a we can use this particular IC 555 as a timing machine. So the threshold comparator saturates. Carefully listen, guys. The threshold comparator saturates when the voltage at the threshold pin, that is the pin number 6. Pin number 6 is greater than 2 divided by 3 VCC. So this is the first condition. And if you look at the second condition, the trigger comparator saturates. Trigger comparator saturates. Trigger comparator means it's a second comparator, or we can call it a lower comparator. The trigger comparator saturates when the voltage at the trigger pin 2 is less than VCC divided by 3. And if you look at that, this is an upper comparator which will be connected with the threshold, and this is the lower comparator which will be connected with the trigger. So this will be saturated at the particular condition. The next condition, this will be saturated. So when this particular comparator is saturates, this will be go for off condition. When this comparator is saturated, and this will go for off condition. So continuously it can be switching between the on and off, so that which will produce the output as a Q bar as a Q 0 and 1 0 and 1 0 1, and we can get an output as a square wave. And if you look at the use of IC 555 timer, and it can be switch on or off the output after certain time delay. For example, it can be used as a games timer, child mobiles, exercise timer. So these are the application of IC 555 timer. And if you look at the continuously switch on off between the output terminals, we can use this in one init. Especially we can use it in this kind of application in traffic light conditions. So during the night time after 10 o'clock, there is no signal will be there. So we for making on and off the LED, we can use this kind of application or this kind of IC 555 timer as a warning lights, and bicycle indicator we can use it. Running light for running light or a disco light we can use it. Pulse generator, we can provide a serial clock pulse for the counter. If you want to induce the counter, you have to give the clock pulse. For generating the clock pulse, we can use this IC 555 timer as an unstable board, and I can use as an input clock pulse generator for any kind of a circuit. So this is the application of IC 555 timer. And if you look at this is a simple warning light or a simple unstable multi-vibrator. And if you look at the two resistors and one capacitance can be connected with the series manner by externally. So this is not the internal 5K resistor. This is the external resistor that can be connected externally, and it is not. And internally we have a 5K resistor. So this is this is resistor 1, and this is resistor 2, and this is a capacitor. If you want to change the timing cycle, if you want to change the cycle duration, or if you want to change the duty cycle of an output terminal, you have to vary this resistance value. You have to vary this resistance value. And I just give the clue. If you want to vary the on time of a duty cycle, you have to vary the resistor R1. If you want to vary the duty cycle of the off time, you have to vary the resistance too. So according to the variations happens on the resistor, the duty cycle of the timing cycle or duty cycle of the time duration has been varied. Understand? So this is the just introduction about what is meant by IC 555 timer, and I hope you can understand this particular lecture. If you have any doubt, please ask. Thank you.